Hi friends! Today's card is featuring a brand new stamp set from Stampin' Up! In their new 2013-2014 catalog. And this gorgeous stamp set is called Simply Sketched, and you can't buy it. You can only get this set free. And if you're wondering how you get it free, all you need to do is book a private card class or a workshop with your local demonstrator. So if you're in New Brunswick, give me a dingle. Otherwise, look up a demonstrator locator in your town. Just go to stampinup.com and type in your zip code or your postal code and find a demonstrator near you and book an event with them so that you can get this set for free, because I promise you, you are going to want this. Or you can just place an order online through my online store if you're in Canada. And when your order is $200, you are, that's before tax and shipping, you are eligible to receive hostess benefits. And that's when you can get a hostess set. So those are the only ways that you can get these gorgeous hostess only stamp sets. They're really exclusive and they're beautiful. So let's get started. We're going to use this flower and we're going to use the Thanks So Much. We are also using, besides Whisper White, their new Crisp Cantaloupe cardstock. Their new in colors are gorgeous. So I've already cut this to size. My card base is going to be a piece of Whisper White that's 11.5 by 8.5 cut in half, so that when it's folded, the standard card size is 5.5 by 4.25. So then I cut this piece to mat in the middle, and then this is gonna go on top, just like that. So we'll set those aside. Actually, we'll bring those back. So we're gonna put that on the front of our card, and we're gonna set that aside. All right. So I already have my stamp out. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And I'm going to use my black Stays On. I'm just going to stamp it down near the bottom. And when you stamp, push down nice and firm. Don't wiggle, don't push it down too hard so that it smushes. Just push it down nice and firm so you get a nice crisp image. From the same set, we're also going to use the leaves. So I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to put some here and on the side. Isn't that nice? And maybe we'll go up a little bit here too. Now I'm going to take my Thanks So Much and I'm going to stamp it right there like that. It almost looks good enough to give it just like that in the black. It's such a nice design. Stays on, dries quick, so make sure you put the lid on. Don't keep it open too long. There's also a plastic lid that comes with the black Stays On, and I just glue it to the top of my lid so that I don't lose it. Keeps your ink pad from drying out. And if you haven't smelt Stays On, give it a sniff because it smells like almond extract. It's delicious. Okay, time to color. We're going to use the new Crisp Cantaloupe, our pistachio pudding, and we're going to use Strawberry Slush. I'll show you the other two colors from this set, Coastal Cabana and Baked Brown Sugar. Those are our new in colors. They're amazing. They're fantastic. Stampin' Up! Rocks. Alright, I'm going to squeeze my lid so I got a pool of ink on my lid there. And I'm going to take my aqua painter, and I've used this in some other videos, but if you haven't seen them, I'll do you a quick explanation. You get two aqua painters when you purchase them, so you get a large tip, which this is, and you get a smaller tip. And all you do is you unscrew it, fill it up with water, screw it back in, and this way you don't have to carry around a glass of water and a paintbrush. I've actually colored while traveling in the car because everything's nice and easy. It's right there for you. So all I do is I kind of squeeze it a little bit back and forth until it comes out wet, and then you just go into your ink and you start coloring. I actually got some water on the corner of my paper and I didn't want that to happen, so we're going to pretend that's not there and we're just going to let that dry. So I'm just going to ignore it for a minute. And then I'm just putting my color onto my flower, and you want to let that dry and then you can go in with your second color. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and forth until this comes out clean, and then I can go into my next color, which will be my pistachio pudding. And the great thing about using the aqua painter is you don't have to worry too much about staying in the lines, and it's going to look great when you're coloring like this, and it's fast. If you need to mass produce cards, using your aqua painter is the way to go. Alright, put that aside. Next I'm going to grab my strawberry slush, and I'm going to take my blender pen. Now blender pens have the same tip on each end, so basically when you buy a package of pens you get 3, so it's like you're getting 6 pens, so they're going to last a while, and these can turn into a marker for any ink pad you're using. So all you would do is go right into your ink, and now you have a marker. And then to clean it, it's the same thing we just did with the aqua painter. You just go on your scrap paper until all that ink comes off and it's clear, and then see, it's clear now, so now you can go into your next color. So even if you have an ink pad and no markers, get a set of blender pens and then just use that with your ink pad. It's like having a whole set of markers until you can at least build up on them and get them. And if it's too dark, just scribble some off and then go back in. Okay. Sometimes I like to go back on top just to add a bit more color. And then I'm going to clean that off. And if the tip of your blender pen gets stained with color, that's alright. As long as you get that ink off, you're ready to rumble into the next color. So I'm going to go into my crisp cantaloupe. Now you can still use that pool of ink, or you can go direct onto your ink pad with your blender pen. It doesn't matter. And I just want to add some darker color. Now, I personally know nothing about shading. It's something I need to learn so I can do better coloring. So in the meantime, I'm winging it, and I just kind of add darker color where I want it. I'm going to do the same thing with the green. These are new ink pads, so they've got a lot of ink in them, so that's why it's taking a little bit extra time to get the color out. So now for my green, I just want to highlight. Can you see that? So I'm just, because that first layer with the aqua painter was light, so now I can go back in and add some more ink, and it's just gonna add like 2 tones. Can you see that? So that is pretty much all the coloring I'm going to do. The next thing I'm going to do for the card is I'm going to take the stamp from the Creative Elements, the squirrely one. And I'm going to take my Versamark, ink that up. And before I stamp that on my cardstock, I'm going to take my embossing buddy and just do a quick little wipe with it, because that takes the static off the paper so you don't get embossing powder where you don't want it. And I'm going to stamp it right on top. That's probably good. If that wasn't wet there, I would probably add some powder there too, but that would be a solid blotch of embossing powder because it's wet. I don't have a spoon in here, so I'm going to just wing it, sprinkle it on, tap it off, and then I'm going to go over to my embossing station and I'm going to zap that with the heat tool. Okay, I've heated that up, so I've just got a nice element over here. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but it's just a nice subtle accent. So I'm going to put this onto my card. And then the last thing we're going to do is make a butterfly for our card. So I'm using the butterfly set called the Papillon Potpourri. And I'm going to take my black stays on. I'm going to ink it up, and you can tell I've made a lot of these cards. Take my Cool Cabana. I'm going to flip this over on the other side and just, oops, color in my butterfly. And then I'm going to take the baked brown sugar and I'm going to color in his body. Okay. Very, very nice. Grab my little butterfly punch. So when I'm punching him out, I'm going to lose his little antennas. So there's a stamp in this set that is just antennas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those antennas, stamp it on my card, take a glue dot, kind of bend up my butterfly a little bit. And there you have it. Isn't that nice? I love this card. I love this stamp set. So I hope you like that. This is a great card to make if you needed a whole bunch in a hurry. And the possibilities of what you can do with this stamp set are, I can tell, they're just going to be endless and they're going to be so much fun. So I hope you give that a try. Thank you for watching and happy stamping.